how many breeds have you handled?
I've been doing Dogo Argentino for 20 years. I became the president of the Dogo Argentino club in Brazil in 2017. It's 35 grand champions in the pedigree and almost 100 champions all over the world.
Ooh. Why use New Vet Plus? Strengthens the immune system, promotes healthy skin and coat, supports healthy eyes and ears, and safe for pets of all ages. Use my code for the discount.
In my dreams, I'm never over you. Just trying to stay alive.
Welcome to NWA Connie Corsos podcast, where we talk all things dogs.
Yeah, I keep on wasting time, and I'm just here until there's something new. Although it feels so right, yeah. Guess it's nothing left for me to do. Back to the
I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'm gonna show them all they're wrong because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me.
All right, well, hey, I know you're a busy lady, and I'm so glad you took time out to holler at me on this weekday. I know everybody got kids and stuff, and a lot of them in the bed right now, but it's truly an honor. You've been hotter than what we in the South we say hotter than fish grease, and I'm in the master breeds, and we hearing all this stuff about you and everything. So let me ask you, how did you get your start in dogs? When did everything, the love and everything, kick in?
Well, my starting dogs was actually very curious. I had my brother had Rottweilers when I was a child, and they were pretty spicy dogs, but I loved them. Since I was a child, I really liked dogs that are protectors and that are bigger dogs. I was never into the tiny dogs, I guess. And he had a couple, and then we never had dogs anymore. And I grew up, and I got married. I had a child, and then I got separated when my kid was 6 years old. And I lived in a kind of like the outskirts of Sao Paulo, which is one of the most dangerous cities in the world. And I wanted to have a dog protector dog. I wanted a dog to take care of of me and my son, since I was going to be living by myself with him. And I researched for like a year to 2 years, and then I found the Dogo Argentino. And funny enough that I bought a Dogo Argentino for like a Craigslist kind of advertisement, but I fell in love with the breed. And even that dog she was my first Dogo, but she was the one that made me approach the dog shows, the dog breeders. I used to go to meetings of Dogo Argentino people in Brazil. I was fascinated by the dog breeding world, by dog shows, and it was really a fascinating world for me. So that's how I started, with a pet quality dog. But from there, I became friends with breeders. I started doing, a lot of self-learning and going to workshops, and I got a male, and then I started breeding to that pet home female. Well, she was a pet home, but she had tapers. So I did a first breeding with her, and then from there, I just started researching the breed more and more. And I think that 8 years later, I had my first champion, and he was actually the number one Dogo in Brazil in 2023.
Oh, what?
And then I exported him on a lease, not really a lease, but I exported him to a friend to do shows in a co-ownership, kind of like a co-ownership for a period of time. Was a partnership on that dog for a year, and I exported him to England or to Italy. And from there, I became very famous with the Dogos because everybody wanted a puppy from that dog, and I started producing my litters, and I started exporting to all over the world. And then I partner up with another breeder that's a long time Dogo Argentino breeder, and we started working together, and from there we just went up. It's 35 grand champions in the pedigree, or not in my pedigree, but in my resume, and
Wow.
almost 100 champions all over the world.
Ooh. Lord have mercy. No wonder they talking about you so much. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's a heck of a dog to kind of start with. So you got into breeding and all this good stuff. How many breeds have you handled as far as like have you bred before you came into we're gonna get into the Brazil?
No,
This thing?
I've been doing Dogo Argentino for 20 years. I became the president of the Dogo Argentino club in Brazil in 2017. I also started my business through the dogs, which is a dog shipping company, and I did a in 2013 because of my first sale. My first export with the Dogos was to Taiwan. I had 5 dogs sold to Taiwan, and I had never sold a dog to another country before. And Taiwan was super complicated to export because it's an island, and like every island, they have very strict rules for rabies. And you got to do serological tests, you got to do rabies twice, you got to get import permits and all of that. But finally, we got it right, and I shipped my dogs there. And I said to myself, after shipping to Taiwan, I think I can ship to anywhere in the world. And I started shipping dogs, my own puppies to start. I started shipping them to my clients. And then because I had a huge network of breeders on Facebook, on, my social media, everybody saw me posting, hey, I'm in Taiwan. Hey, I'm in Czechoslovakia. Now I'm in Russia. Now I'm in Italy. And people started asking me to provide their sales, to provide to them the transportation for whatever dogs and puppies they were negotiating for new clients or for shows. And that's how I started my dog shipping company, which is called Dogo Jet. And I have an Instagram. I'm not very active. Dogo Jet used to be my number 1 source of income, and now it's like my number 3, because the dogs, the breeding has been really picking up here for me. And I actually have an average of here. I'm gonna tag my company name here.
Okay.
I actually have 3 dogs coming from Brazil this week. I still do dog transporting, but not as much as I used to.
Okay.
And I don't transport myself anymore. I used to transport myself. And then once I moved to the United States in 2018. From then on, I started having, I was just coordinating. I transport very, very like VIP clients. Some clients will really pay for me to get out of my house and do myself the transport, like world champion dogs, and they only trust my transportation services. So as long as I do it myself, but it's very rare that I still do the transports. I usually just have people that I trust that work with me do them.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Ooh, you full of surprises. We didn't even got into it. You really full of surprises. You did a lot of great things. So I'll ask questions if they kind of on topic, but this one is from Davison K9 Canada, and he's trying to get you in trouble. He's asking, who does she think has better dogs, America or Europe? Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Who I think has better dogs?
America or Europe for the Dogos?
Oh, American or Europe?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Depends what you think is good. Depends of what you think is good. my thinking of what's good might be different than yours. I think good is the standard, follows form follows function, So for me, but there's big debates. My type of Dogo Argentino is most of the dogs in Europe were imported from Brazil in my bloodline, and most of the dogs in Europe within the last 10 years came from our bloodline. And our bloodline, they tend to have a more powerful head. And the dogs in Europe in general, in every breed, they tend to be bigger than the American style. If you see the Rottweilers and the Dobermans, for example, I don't know the Corsos, but in Europe, they tend to be more hyper-typed than here in America. American, they prefer a more stylish dog. The same goes for Dogos. They prefer the smaller Dogos and more agile. And they are more agile for hunting. But at the same time, sometimes they're not as strong as a dog that has, a better bone and a stronger masseter and a stronger muscle definition on the headset and them, So I don't know. I do prefer the European style, I would say, because it's more of what the type that I like more. So when he's asking me what I like, that's what I like more. Maybe the standard requires a lighter type of Dogo for the function. But I'm gonna show you a picture of my Dogo so you can see. I'm gonna try to see if I can show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. The second. There we go. This is all of the Dogos. Some of our grand champions in our bloodline. Can you see it?
I can't see it, but they can. Yeah. Y'all see that? Okay. Well, cool. So are you still working with the Dogos now?
Yes, I am. I don't have them at my house, but yeah. So basically what I was saying is, if you look at the dogs, well, you're not seeing it, but I'll send it to you later. But everybody that's watching, you're gonna see the same head type in all of them. We do focus on type a lot, and that shorter muzzle, that stronger head type, the more bigger apple cheeks in my dogs is something that when you look at a Dogo Argentino that comes from Verdes Pampas, you will know it's a Verdes Pampas, which is the name of our kennel. So it's the kind of kennel that you recognize by the face, because the type is so printed over, and that's what our slogan is: set type throughout the generations.
Let me ask you this, Miss Aurea, because I might be a little blank, but in my mind, am I thinking that is it some black allowed around the head area of some Dogos? Am I wrong? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Dogo comes from the genetic color. The color genetics of the Dogo is extreme piebald, and I believe that there's an error. As a specialist in Dogo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that there's an error in the genetic in the standard of how it was written. And I was in Argentina in 2010 when the standard of Dogo Argentino was released. The new standard, or they rewrite the standard every some years. I was in 2010 the representative of Brazil to sign the standard. I approved the standard at 2010. One of the people that approved. But I'm be honest with you, they allow one patch that is not 10% larger than the head size. It can be at any darker color, which means black, brown, brindle, because those colors are in the genetics of the Dogos. So sometimes it will even come orange. They don't say specifically that it cannot be orange. They just say darker patch on the head, as long as it's 10% the size of the head. But if it's on the tail, they will not allow it. But the thing is, the extreme piebald, the extreme white piebald genetics basically is a fault. It's a genetic fault. It's a mistake of genetics in color. So the white is not really a color. The white is like it's like a spot, like it's like a splash of white. And the color is actually black. The dog is actually black genetically. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know how to explain this very technically.
Well, I was going to ask you on the Dogo skin. It may be some black. Yeah, yes, ma'am. That's what I'm asking. Okay, yeah.
And this is actually very good. The skin tinted with black, this is actually very good. It's dogs that are more resistant, dogs that are more rustic, dogs that can survive longer in the field. They usually have the darker skin and that's why the darker skin is desired, and also the pigment around the nose. And the eyes. And there's a funny thing. The eyelids, they prefer it tinted because when they are hunting during the daylight and there's sun, the black avoids the reflection of the sun in their eyes. There's a little detail for each. There's a little function for each detail. But the funny thing about the color is they only accept it on the head. But genetically, that spot can happen on the head or it can happen on the tail. So if it happens on the tail or on the extreme ends of a dog, which is the head or the tail or the beginning of the tail or the end of the tail, if it's on the back, it's out of standard. If it's on the head, it's okay. The only explanation for me that makes it right is commercial, because there's not a genetic or functionality argument for them to have decided that it's okay on the head, but it's not okay on the tail.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Thanks for explaining that. Let me
No problem.
when did you get into the Brazilian bully?
Oh, actually, I got into the American Bully. That's when I came to live here. I was transporting with Dogo Jet. I was helping one of my partners in transport. He is actually based here in LA, and he needed help with some transports for the Bullies. And actually, at that time, he was in LA. We have the biggest kennels. He started, the XL Bullies in the West Coast are very big. We have the biggest kennels over there. At the time, we had Bossy, MVP, and I mean, swag kennels. We have a whole bunch of big kennels that started in Cali. And in 2017, one of my best friends, Mogul, he actually owns a company called Animal Logistics here in the United States. And he asked for my help. And he said, Aurea, I'm transporting a whole bunch of these bullies, and if you can help me transport them. So I started transporting. I would come to the United States just to do the transports with him, to Europe especially. And I fell in love with these babies. I said, oh my God, I love this breed, and I really wanted to have a second breed. That's when I got to understand. And then when I moved here to the United States, and I live in a big ranch. So it's very central. I live in Texas, and he's in LA. So every time he had shipments from central United States, we would do the base of these puppies here, especially to the UK. We would ship them out of my house to the UK. So many times I had like 15 puppies here playing in my house, and that's when I got to see their temperament, their beauty, their colors. I really fell in love with what I was seeing, and I've been transporting dogs for many years, and I just thought that the conformation aspect of the breed is still very underdeveloped. Being a new breed, I could see a lot of space for growth and space for betterment. And that gave me some kind of excitement, especially because in Dogos, even though it is the breed of my heart, I didn't have any more excitements. I have won almost everything. I've had, world champions. I have Westminster champions. Every dog show, every dog show that I go to, especially here in the United States, every dog show that I went to, not saying that the quality is bad because I don't know anymore, but at that time, the Dogos had just been accepted by AKC, and the quality was we didn't have quantity and we didn't have quality.
Yeah.
And it was almost, I can almost say that it was not challenging anymore for me to be in the Dogos. That's why I needed some challenge. I'm a go-getter, so I like to be always doing something new. And that's how I saw this. Thank you. So I love to see these bullies, these XL bullies, and I got to meet some of the adults, and I just thought that they were beautiful, but in my heart, I knew that they could be better. I knew that they could have better conformation. They had space. I was looking at these beautiful dogs, but I was seeing a lot of flaws. Imagine if I can have these dogs enhanced and better than, and the structure, with better structure. So this is when I started really falling in love with this breed, not only for the temperament, but also for the space and growth, um, that I could use a little bit of my expertise to better these individuals, whichever I chose, if I chose to breed them. And my friend Mo was like, "You don't need these bullies. You're doing so good in the Dogos. Just stay in your lane." And I said, "Buddy, now you're challenging me. Now I'm gonna go for the bullies." And it's so funny because one of the first dogs that I transported with him was a Bossy Kennels. I don't know if you know who Bossy Kennels is.
I've heard them, yeah.
Yeah, she's the queen. She's the number one breeder in the world. Like, she has a bloodline. She's probably one of the most successful kennels, not only in bullies but also in any breed. She, and and we were talking the other day, and he said we were in a uh, three-way call, and Mo, which he's friends with Kat too, and he said to her, "See, Kat, it's your fault that Aurea is in the bullies, because one of the first bullies that I transported and that I fell in love with were Bossy Kennels." And then there you go. Now look what you did to her. Now I'm a bully breeder. So it was funny, and now we became friends, which is good. So
So you did it. I saw on YouTube today where you explained the difference in between a Brazilian bull and an American bully. If you can you give us that just kind of quickly explanation of that?
yes, the difference between the American bully and the Brazilian bull. Well, actually, that video, and thank you for seeing it. And it's in my YouTube channel for everybody that wants to watch it. On Samba Kennels is the name of my channel. It's my last video, and I put a picture of Shake and I put a picture of Mandibula. Well, both of them, and this is the catch, both of them are Brazilian bulls. But when we imported these dogs, it's a little complicated. It's even a little complicated for me to speak on this, so people understand. Both of these dogs are Brazilian bulls. Okay, so just to make sense, let me just build a little understanding here. So after I started breeding, I started buying some dogs. I purchased some XLs. Because of my transportation, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to see what Brazil was doing with the XLs. And I was actually transporting some dogs because my market for transport wasn't only US and Brazil. I transport all over the world: China, Russia, Europe, Tokyo, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Thailand, any country that you can imagine. I've been to 43 countries myself. And I'm not even talking to the ones that I have delivered without being actually there. And I noticed that at the same time that I was breeding the XLs, there was a big movement of dogs that are similar as the XLs in Brazil. And there they were called pit monsters. I didn't like the name. I don't know why they called that. But then as the years went by, I understood. And I understood the whole point of it, the concept. So just so you understand, I went to Brazil to get some dogs there, and I said, I love what they're doing. I love the XL American Bullies, and I love what they're doing there. And I think that the Brazilian bullies, the Brazilian XL bullies at that time, because they weren't called Brazilian bulls at that time. In 2021, 2022, when they started looking at the dogs in Brazil, I said, I think these dogs have better conformation, some of them, but they have uglier faces. So with the pretty faces in the US and the muscle tone and the mass and the bone of the Brazilian, maybe we can do something together. Maybe we can bring them over here. And that's what I started doing. But the thing is, and this is what I explained in the video that I posted today. When we were bringing these dogs over here, they were accepted by ABKC, the American Bully Kennel Club, but they were so similar to the XLs that they didn't have a breed or a category for them. So as long as they were coming from Brazil, from one or two entities only they accepted, they would be accepted in the XL category. Okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
But the thing is, the ABKC wasn't really very aware of what was going on in Brazil, and nobody really was. I guess I started bringing that exposition more and more because these dogs in Brazil, they were a new breed. And differently than the XLs here, they don't use any type of Mastiff breeds down there for these pit monsters. There's no Mastiff. There's only terriers. And some of them worked only with terriers. So they say that they were selecting the bigger pit bulls. I don't know how they got to from a 40-pound dog to a 130-pound dog in 2 generations. Don't ask me that. They say that it's only terriers and selection, but we all know that there's probably some American Bulldog hidden in there because that's the magical form for the blood, the magical formula. So basically, what we did, we were bringing these dogs, and ABKC was accepting them, but as XL American Bullies. They were registered them as American Bullies. And for me, that was great because this is what I wanted. For me, they were XL American Bullies. Until I started learning the history and the concept of the dog, the two breeds are exactly the same. They want beautiful, powerful, athletic-looking dogs that look like a big, giant pit bull terrier, but with a bullier look.
Right.
Okay? So basically, that's what the two breeds require. But at the end of the day, if you look at the American Bully standard, the American Bully standard requires a pocket bully or a standard bully in a larger proportion to be called an XL. And when you look at what was going on here in America, not anymore, but 5 years ago, if you went to a dog show, you would see giant giraffes, you would see fat little hippopotamus kind of looking dogs, you would see every kind of XL, no type, just diversity, no consistency in type. You would see very, very different type, long leg dogs, rounded dogs, mastiffy dogs, too much molosers, with very much skin, loose skin. So the diversity in type was very high.
Yeah.
In Brazil, even though the breed is only half the age of the ones here, they were breeding consistently. They all look the same. And as a matter of fact, if you look at a Brazilian dog or a Brazilian XL, you will say that's a dog from Brazil because they all look the same. They have this super powerful shoulder expression. They have the rears very strong. They have the big apple cheeks, the huge temporal mass here, and they have the eyes that seem closer together. Sometimes they can be a little closer together, but I am 100% sure that the impression that they get that are even closer together is because the area surrounding the head type, okay, the head. So
So can I ask you this? So basically, I kind of know too, like because being a Corso breeder, I know a lot of people that did with the American bullies and things. You never know what really happened. Over in Brazil, you say it was probably a little bit more organized on what what you guys use. Like, would it be safe to say the AM bully, the XL pit bull, the American bulldog, and the OD bulldog was pretty common in what they use in Brazil?
well, can you repeat the last part of the question, please? What was used in Brazil?
The AM bully, the AM bully,
American bully. The pockets. They use the
Yep.
pockets.
The pockets. Okay, the XL pit bull, maybe.
Yes, the XL pit bulls. They selected the big pits.
Okay.
Imported from here.
Okay.
America Bulldog, in the recent years, let's say in the recent 7 to 8 years, that's when they started adding Brazilian, the American Bulldogs.
And then the OD bulldogs. Is that it?
And the oldies, yes, the oldies too.
Okay, gotcha. So it's more organized. Okay, gotcha.
Well, the good thing about all of this is that it was allowed. And people, because they understand that it's a new breed, and for a new breed to proceed and to gain certain qualities and traits, they need to have open stud books. So the stud books are open in Brazil because it's a new breed. At one point, we're going to close it.
Right.
But as of right now, it is open. So because it's open, if you look at the pedigrees of all these dogs, you're going to see some pedigrees that have, the pit monsters from the past, because we've been there for 20, 25 years now. You're going to see some American bullies from America that were imported there. There's still decks, whoever is here that watches American bullies and understand the genetics. We have a lot of decks, gaudy line decks in our pedigrees in Brazil. Gaudy line was one of the main American bully pockets in its time a few years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And
Right.
in my dogs here, we have decks in their 6th or 7th generation behind, which is not that far away.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
they started noticing, like they wanted to. We had a lot of Camelot pits imported, and the Camelot pits they're pretty spicy dogs. Their temperament are pretty driven. Let's use that word. And they wanted to give. Some people started using the bulldogs to give that appearance of more muscular, a wider spread, more and shorter the muzzle a little bit, but also they wanted to bring more docility to these dogs. And the dogs that were selected to be used in the breed came from Sunshine Bulls, which is actually the president of IBC, the breeder. And she was the one that allowed this insertion, and it was good for everybody. It was good for her because even though she wasn't doing it for money, because she doesn't even need that, but she was doing for the breed, offering her males to add breed type to add, or I mean, not breed type, but consistency and volume and bone and spread and muscle form to these dogs that were being formed. But the most important thing of this fact is that all of her dogs were health tested at its max, because not only she's a very responsible breeder, she's also veterinarian graduated veterinary, master degree, postgraduated. She has all kinds of specialty, and she's very picky with health testing.
Okay.
So the good thing is that they used the base of the breed were highly selected American Bulldogs. It was just one or other. There's one that we called New Iron. He was the main one, and he's extremely healthy, and he was the base of the breed. He's actually Shake's, I don't know, 4th generation, I think. So yeah, so that's how they.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, and this is just one good thing about this breed. We don't have to lie. We don't have to hang papers, and
Yeah.
people are mad that we are bringing these dogs because they have American Bulldogs, but they are full of merles in their backyard, which means where did they get those merles from? They believe the pedigree that they have. I mean, it's kind of hypocrite, and we're dealing with a brand new breed. American Bullies are pretty new breed. The pockets are now established, but the XLs are still being formed. So whatever is there to better the breed at this point, this is the time to do it. And then eventually, of course, closing the stud books, and this is what Dave Wilson did. He was under a lot of pressure because a lot of people didn't accept that these dogs were coming in as XL, and the Brazilian people were happy that we got the separation because they understand that this is a different breed than the American Bully XL.
Gotcha.
So this is something that I helped the Brazilian breeders claim here in America. And it could have gone totally against me. They could have pulled my dog's papers, and because all of my dogs were registered as American Bullies, And let me see. I think this is finished. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My earphone died, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
No, but it's okay. I'm just gonna put it to charge. So, anyways, luckily, my dogs were grandfathered in ABKC, so they remain American Bullies.
Yes, ma'am.
But now, if I wanted to use them with Brazilian Bulls, I can't. Gary, I can mix them too.
Oh, okay. I got you for another few minutes, but I want to take the questions from the audience, if you don't mind.
Yes, I can't see the questions anymore. It froze. It's
Oh,
frozen.
okay. Okay, well, I'll read them to you.
Yes.
Some of you guys' questions she asked, y'all wanted to know. She was answering them as if you was paying attention. This one is from Mr. Kyan Buchanan. He says, Kyan Buchanan, Tan Kennels. Yeah, he's a buddy of mine, but said, brothers, hey, Kyan. Yeah, he says, are the stud books open in the U.S.? Meaning, okay. He says, meaning, can you breed an American Bulldog? No, okay, yeah, you just answered it. Yeah, you sure did, yeah.
No, you breed them in Brazil. You can register them in Brazil, but you cannot register them as a Brazilian Bull unless you have a Brazilian Bulldog. Like if you have a dog from Brazil, let's say you buy one with me, or you collab one with me, or you purchase one from TMK Bullies, which is another. It's one of the biggest breeders. It was the only Brazilian Bull breeder right now. He's the first one. Now there's others, but he's the first one, and he has some Brazilian Bulls litters. Let's say you purchase one puppy from him, and in the future you want to breed to a American Bulldog. Yes, you can, but you have to register in Brazil, and then you can transfer the paper here as Brazilian Bull. You cannot do it directly with ABKC because the website. Yeah, that's something that he said. We are gonna do whatever we can. We're gonna accept the Brazilian Bulls, but we're not gonna accept the crosses, because if he accepts the crosses, he's going against his politics of the American Bully. You know what I mean? Like the American Bully does not accept the crossing. So even if he had to register as a Brazilian bull, he will not accept it, unfortunately. But I see his point too, you know?
Right, right. Let me ask you this. Um, as a breeder, uh,
Yes.
so long, which dog was the most difficult for you to breed? The Dogo, or as far as like what what I- is it? Was it harder to lock in stuff on the Brazilian bull side? If as far as breeding, where did you find the most consistency at fastest with the Dogo or the Brazilian bull?
Well,
What was the difference?
Dogo was always easier because our bloodline has already so much consistency. And I look at a puppy, I already know what that puppy is gonna be. I can pick my puppies at 30, 45 days because I already know when you're very experienced in a breed, you already know what you're looking for. You already know especially if you have a very consistent bloodline. And this is my case in the Dogos. Now, in the Bullies, I'm still learning. I learn every day in any breed, but especially in the XLs and especially in the Brazilian Bulls because it's a lot of outcrossing. And as everybody that's watching here knows, when we have a lot of outcrossing and scattered pedigrees, you don't know what you're getting. And for me, and also the curve of growth and development of these puppies is a lot different than an established standard breed. They grow very differently. You don't imagine that that litter that, I'm comparing in my litters, Brazilian bull litters, although mine are American bullies, guys, registration, but the blood is the same. They are much smaller than the XLs when they're born.
All right.
So I was comparing to my fellows, my American friends and breeders, and I'm like, okay, they are 2 weeks and they're only a pound and 600, or they're only 2 pounds at this. And they were going, well, but mine is 3.5 pounds at the same age. I'm like, oh my God, these puppies are gonna be super small. When they were smaller for 3 months. And then when they're adults, they're 130 pounds of muscle. You know what I mean, Nick? I didn't even understand the growth curve of this. I still don't. I'm still learning. It's hard for me to pick a puppy. That's why my last litter, I have 5 sitting in my yard. Because I said, every time I let go the wrong puppies, because I have the raw, even though I have experience, my experience comes from a standard breed. So in the very beginning, I was letting go the best puppies. I was choosing by the wrong criteria, and then my last pick puppies were actually the best ones in the litter. So I think it's harder to deal with a breed that has a diversity of genetics, like the American Bully and the Brazilian Bulls. They're very diverse, and the litters come out very diverse, and the growth curve is completely different than a standard breed. So it's harder as a breeder, to select. This is what I'm telling you. It's harder to select.
Right.
And
So with there being
it's harder to whelp because Dogos, they will do everything. They don't need a C-section. They will survive in the woods. They can have the puppies in the dirt. Whether these boys, they are luxury items. They need to be spoiled and treated and
That's true. Yeah. With that being said, being a composite breed, how much do y'all have any stipulations on inbreeding and heavy line breeding as of right now?
No, as of right now, I don't think so. As of right now, what I have been watching is the outcrossing is actually turning out better at this point than the line breeding still. But there's gonna be a point. There's gonna be a point in the breeding that I'm gonna have to start line breeding more than outcrossing. That's how I work. I do prefer line breeding. I don't like inbreeding, even though I have done it. But I think the risks are too high. I do like a certain type of line breeding, which I call the diagonal line breeding, which is usually nephews to aunts or
That's a nice.
nieces. I think that um, I've seen that working really well in the Dogos, and I believe that once I reach a certain consistency and in type, because I breed for type, I breed for type, and of course temperament and all of that shit that they talk, healthy temperament is of course, but I want to see a beautiful type dog, and now to get there, I'm still not ready to breed consistently. I still need a few more. I still need to correct a little bit here and there. And for that, I need to outcross, select the right pieces of the puzzle to then start line breeding. That's how
Okay. Yeah.
that's how I plan to do my breeding program from now.
Okay. I could talk to you all day long. Hey guys, it's so much I want to ask about. We limited on time. So let me ask, I know y'all got questions, but I'll be remiss if I didn't ask about Sheik here on my screen. I know that you acquired him and
He was a breed naturally. I didn't buy. No, I sold him. Actually, I'm his manager here in the United States.
oh, gotcha. Okay. So could you tell us a little bit about him, how much he's worth, this all about him?
Well, she came here because I'm very good friends with Lucas Petcanos. Lucas is the breeder in Brazil. He's
I saw you on an interview with him, right?
Yes, Lucas is a very he's one of the top breeders right now in the Brazilian bulls in the world. And we started kind of at the same time. He started a little before me. And when I decided to start these dogs, he was one of my mentors. He was one of my mentors for the breed, and I was one of his mentors for breeding. He didn't have much knowledge at that time. We're talking like 5, 6 years ago. He wasn't so knowledgeable when it came to breeding and to nutrition and to genetics and but he was knowledgeable about colors and things that I didn't know because I was only breeding white,
Right.
and also bloodlines and he had a vision. He had a very consistent vision. Like Lucas had a vision since I remember. He always liked the same type of dog. And that's how he got to where he got into. He bought an XL American Bully from America with my help to take to Brazil just to bring some height and color. And that dog was, honestly, he was a mediocre dog. He was an okay dog, but he was not a stud or anything like, outstanding. And he took that dog and he made Chic from there, 2 generations only. So he had a vision, he had goals. And what makes me, I'm very proud of Lucas because he had nowhere to live at on one point of his life. He was homeless at one point of his life.
Wow.
And he trusted his vision to God and he changed his life. He's a God's person too. And he just completely changed his goals when he decided to start breeding dogs because it kind of saved him from a bad situation. And that's when he started, going to church and all of that. And I'm very proud of him because he reached the top. And he trusted me, Sheik, because we're friends. Second, because he really trusts me as a dog breeder, as my marketing, my following. I have some kind of respect here from the people in this community. And I've been already bringing some studs from Brazil. So he trusted me, his main product, or his main dog. And in the midst of me working with him, we had an offer on him from Rodolfo, which is his new owner. And Rodolfo also became he's now my good friend, and we are, I manage the dog for him, and but I'm not his owner. No, I didn't.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
no.
Uh.
But surprise for you! Look who is here with me. Let's see if you can see him. Hi, buddy. Let me see if you can see him. He's sleepy.
He's sleepy. I hear it, yeah. Well, I will. He told me not to. He told me not to say his name, but we got a really big breed over here that's respected historically. Told me you was a. He told me you was a great promoter and marketing genius. Vito.
That's easy. Well, guess what? I appreciate that because I do believe that in this world, no matter what kind of business you do, marketing is everything, right? Even publicity is important. And one thing is doing good marketing. When you have good marketing and you have a great product, you can't go wrong. I just try to, even though I have great marketing, one thing that I do, I never lie. I try to be very transparent about everything that I do, that I say. I try to use my marketing to educate people and to bring value to the community. I think that's maybe one of the reasons that I reached where I am right now much faster than people, because people have a lot of knowledge, but they prefer not to share it. Some people have great marketing, but they don't have good products. Some people have great dogs, but they don't have good marketing. So if you can have a little bit of everything and not be emotional, be more rational than emotion, because I always say that emotion is the number one thing to ruin your any business and any. Hey, don't go there. He wants to go on my sofa.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You dropped some jewels right there. You dropped a lot of knowledge right there.
That's
Yeah.
something that I learned. Unfortunately, I learned that a little late because I'm a veteran in this thing, you know? I used to put a lot of emotion in everything that I did. And now I can tell you that I'm all reason. But look at this. You can't see my boy here, but people, hey guys, can you guys see Fake here?
Y'all see it, you guys? Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I know you're a very busy lady, and I do really appreciate your time. All of us on here, we sure do. Somebody said, Joe, before y'all in, one question. Vic, Vic the pick. He says, Joe, before y'all in, can you ask her for any advice for a breeder? Any advice you want to get a breeders out there before we go?
I just gave you the best advice I can give you. The best advice somebody gave me, and I'm gonna repeat it. Whatever you do in your breeding program, take your emotion away, because emotions acting with your heart is what's gonna make you not go forward. Unfortunately, we deal with dogs, we deal with living lives, and it's very hard to take decisions when you deal with dogs. But if you're in this for a business, you gotta take this as a business. And sometimes the same place where there's a bad dog eating could be eating a great dog. And sometimes you gotta let go of some of them, unfortunately. Right. And that goes for any decisions. I'm not even saying about replacing dogs, but um, just following your reason more than your heart when it comes to breeding.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, we thank you so much. You are a wealth of knowledge. This has been fun. Maybe hope one day I might get lucky again. So, but yeah.
Really appreciate you, Joe, for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, I couldn't read all the messages because I need my glasses, and second, because it did get stopped at some point right in the beginning. She answered the question like she was in a board meeting. She's savvy and knows how to answer a question politically correct.
You're a professional, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, so yeah. Oh,
That was the questions that I could read, unfortunately.
okay, well, yeah, I think we got everything covered, so we good. I'll probably put this out on YouTube as well.
Awesome. So what you gotta do now, once you turn it off, just go on publish, and then you shall be to collab, so I can leave it on my page too. So your audience and my audience can watch it later on, whoever is not here. But then you can save it in your, you can also say after you publish it, you can save it and then you can publish it on YouTube.
Save the publish on YouTube. Okay. All right, young lady. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Joe, and thank you for everybody watching. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.